Welcome to episode 2 of the Texans franchise, where we will be showcasing weeks 2 and 3. Last episode, we got manhandled by Jonathan Taylor, leading the Colts to a win and Houston starting the season off rough. In week 2, we will be seeing Houston match up against the Denver Broncos. Last year, Denver was one of the most disappointing teams side by side with the Rams. But Denver is coming off a narrow win against Wilson's former team, a game where Russ played pretty good. But of course, the Texans' main worries will be about the stacked defense of Denver. Patrick Surtain, the shutdown corner out of Alabama, and one of the best free safeties, Justin Simmons, leading the star-studded secondary. Houston will need to watch for Javonte Williams. Houston allowed over 300 total yards to Jonathan Taylor last week, and we are not trying to see that again. Houston last week did find success with CJ Stroud. Stroud being able to connect with Tank Dell for a touchdown last week against Indy. And the Texans are going to need more of that if they want a chance to win more than 5 games this year. The Broncos will be starting with the ball, and Chef Russ will try to continue his decent play from week 1 into this week. Denver going 5 wide on 3rd down, and Wilson is able to connect with Javonte for the 1st down. Houston's D-line was downright awful last week, but the pass rush was actually not that bad against the Colts. Opening up the game against Denver, the Texans seem to be more focused on stopping the run, as they should be. And Chef Russ gets blindsided by Petrie and Christian Harris. This Texans defense starting the game off pretty hot. Maybe Denver hasn't really improved at all. Denver does end up getting the 54-yard field goal to go, and it's pretty windy in Denver, so Stroud will have to readjust to his conditions. Stroud drops back on 1st down at the 20. He looks for Dell deep down the field and is caught by Tank Dell, and he is gone for the touchdown. The rookie receiver Tank Dell hauls in a crazy 80-yard touchdown on the first offensive possession for the Texans. Dell had 2 defenders right on him, and he's still able to get the tutty to put up Houston 7-3. Denver needing to respond goes for the ground game, and Javonte Williams gets the 1st down to the 46-yard line. This is very worrisome for Houston. The rush defense being this awful might end up being the story of the Texans season. And on 3rd down, Chef Russ steps up in the pocket and he just delivers a strike to Jerry Jeudy for a 6-yard touchdown, putting Denver up 10-7. In what was supposed to be a slugfest of a game, this matchup is pretty high scoring in just the opening quarter. But of course, speak too soon with the Texans. Stroud throws a bad ball on 3rd down, maybe the wind having an effect on him. And Denver will get the ball back. In the first play, Wilson looks again for Jeudy, and he catches the jump ball. Jerry Jeudy playing like a madman, catching the contested ball for a gain of 46. On 3rd down, Wilson drops back, has to escape the pocket, and he's just going to throw it away. Texans defense not playing awful to start the game, but they're still down 13-7, and they have not been able to stop the big plays. Singletary hasn't done much on the ground so far. Quanfrazzle Bingleton being able to get him going with a nice catch for the 1st down. Something Bingleton is focused on is confidence. This Texans team needs to be consistently confident, even if they're going up against an amazing team. Once again, Stroud misfires on a 3rd down throw. That one completely being his fault, and the Texans not even in field goal range, forcing them to punt. Javonte starts rolling late in the 2nd quarter, a scary sight for all Texans fans. And Wilson almost throws an interception. The Texans would have loved to get a pick 6 right there. Points have not come easy for Houston ever since that 80-yard touchdown to Tank Dell in the 1st quarter. And Javonte Williams on 1st and 10, a great block by the center, and Javonte Williams gets by everybody, and he's gonna be gone for the touchdown. After starting the game off good, this Houston D-line is crumbling before our eyes. With the 2-minute warning approaching, on 3rd down, Stroud hits a great pass to Robert Woods. It feels necessary for Houston to get at least a field goal on this drive. The Texans have simply not had as many plays as the Broncos. All Houston drives dwindling out early. That's why it's a must for Stroud to stay in rhythm for Houston to be competitive. Quanfrazzle calling some great play calls. Stroud putting throws on the money, but Singletary is living proof on how bad this run game has been tonight for Houston. On third down, Tank Dell in motion, Stroud goes right, looks back across, and doesn't it look familiar? Tank Dell in motion late in the second quarter, scoring a touchdown for Houston in the red zone. And Denver is just going to waste the clock out, and Houston gets a much needed touchdown to end the second quarter to make the score 20-14. A scary sight for Houston is the fact that they keep having to come back in these games. The Texans are obviously not a very talented team, so for these young, unexperienced guys to be having to play from behind all the time signals a not too good future. Hopefully throughout the year the Texans can keep up the tempo from the first quarter into the rest of the game. After Stroud misses a throw and a lockdown coverage on the following play, early in the third quarter the drive will end and Houston has to punt back to Denver. And Denzel Perryman will tackle Javonte quickly, playing no games tonight. The Broncos try again for Javonte, and on the stretch it won't go anywhere. Unlike last week, the Texans are actually having long stretches of good defense, but Houston is not able to continue it, allowing the third down at the 31-yard line, handoff to Javonte, and once again he will be denied. Denzel Perryman a tackle for loss. Perryman playing phenomenal tonight. Houston needs it since their starting middle linebacker Christian Kirksey's out due to an injury. And Jerry Jeudy continues his great night with another catch. On third and goal, the Broncos will run it to the fullback and they will be stuffed. And I just love how the Texans are actually putting up some fight. And Javonte Williams on fourth down is denied again. Houston's D-line is actually showing improvement and stepping up when Houston needs it. And Singletary will actually get some room to run. The Texans may be able to take the lead this drive. On second down, Stroud runs right side and he's going to get the first down. A great way to extend the play and getting the first down marker. To start the fourth, a play action on third down, and it nearly got caught in traffic by Woods, but Patrick Surtain is able to make the play on the ball. On a heavy blitz, Chef Russ throws left side, and he cooks up an interception. Houston's first pick of the year. It'll be the former 49er Jimmy Ward with the interception on Russell Wilson. Now with Houston having the ball back, Tank Dell is wide open over the middle, and Dell has way too much room and he's going to get the first down. Tank Dell is really looking like a great player for this Houston offense in just his second game. And Houston is close to getting into the end zone. CJ Stroud has been solid tonight, and he throws left to Mechie, and it's going to be short. It's short of the end zone at the 1-yard line. And just like that, the Texans are back to being cooked by Javonte. But once again, the D-line guesses run, and Will Anderson and company get the tackle for loss. Even though Will Anderson hasn't gotten much pressure tonight, he has played very well in the run defense. As I say that, Javonte goes for a big gain to the 18-yard line. And with just over a minute left, Javonte Williams will seal the game with an easy walk-in touchdown. Javonte now has 5 touchdowns in just the first 2 weeks of the season. The Texans are definitely not going to just clock it. Stroud hits Robert Woods for a tough catch on the sideline. Then Stroud fakes the handoff, and he gets hit hard, and it's going to be 4th and 8. Maybe Houston should have just ended the game, but Quan Frazzle elects for Stroud and the offense to stay on the field, and it works. The Broncos get called for roughing the passer, and an amazing throw by Stroud to John Mechie down the field. Denver may be trying to get some cheap shots on the second overall pick. And Stroud will pump fake and back of the end zone, caught by Brevin Jordan. Not a bad way to end the game, but Denver will get the onside kick sadly, and that will do it. Denver wins 26-20 at home, even though Houston lost and still let up a lot of yardage to Javonte Williams and Russell Wilson. This D-line has shown some improvement, and Stroud played very well versus a very difficult defense. Stroud finishes with a higher QB rating than Russell Wilson, and 3 touchdowns with no picks for the rookie quarterback. Obviously his stats helped out from the last second TD, but to be fair, it would have never happened if Stroud didn't make the phenomenal throw to John Mechie. Javonte of course was cooking for Denver, but for the Texans, Tank Dell had an amazing performance versus a very tough defense. Dell wasn't guarded by Surtain much, but he did get a touchdown on him, and also 3 tutties in just 2 games for Dell is very promising for the youngster. Defensively, Perryman, Will Anderson, and Jimmy Ward was great tonight, while Surtain was of course making a lot of plays for Denver. A tough loss for the Texans, but this Houston team has shown some improvement compared to the massacre on the ground in week 1 versus Indy. Before moving to week 3, we're going to take a look at the top 2 picks of the draft. Our very own CJ Stroud has been pretty good, but I will say he has some accuracy issues to start the year, having one of the lowest completion rates in the league. While Bryce Young has been more efficient than Stroud, it's clear in the 2-week sample size that CJ Stroud has the better stats than the number 1 overall pick. For Houston's week 3 matchup, Quan Frazzle and the squad will have to game plan for the explosiveness of Justin Fields' legs. The Bears' biggest weapon on offense is the former Panther DJ Moore. Besides Tremaine Edmonds, Chicago's defense isn't much to be scared about. This is probably the worst team Houston has played so far, and we really need to win this game to try to get back on track. What the coach, Quan Frazzle Binghamton, and you have seen so far is that man Tank Dell is a beast, easily on pace for around 1,000 yards. But Binghamton's goal for week 3 and the whole season is not to let just one guy carry the offense. Stroud needs to be getting Schultz, Woods, and the others more involved. Then hopefully when Dameon Pierce comes back, this team may be a solid unit. Everybody knows that guys in the locker room get low-key jealous when one guy is the whole scheme of the offense. Hopefully Binghamton's plan will improve the overall morale and chemistry of this young franchise. And Justin Fields will start with the ball. Fields is able to connect with the RB for a dump off, but it's not enough for a first, and Chicago will punt on their opening drive. The Texans traded for Kene Nwangwu for a 4th round pick before the year for this very reason. A big return, and the Texans will start at the 44-yard line. A handoff for Singletary, and he will take it to the 40, a gain of 9 yards. Stroud is able to connect with Robert Woods for the first down. Woods hasn't been able to do too much in the first 2 weeks of the year, but with the Texans coach going for a more even offensive touch style, Robert Woods will look to capitalize. In the red zone, Robert Woods catches an easy touchdown on the play action from CJ Stroud, and the Texans taking the 7-0 lead. Fields in 5 wide goes deep, and he sets a receiver for a massive hit from Jalen Petrie. Once again, in 5 wide, Fields throws some more with room, and I don't think anybody is going to catch him. And just like that, the Bears tie up the game off the electric connection from Fields to DJ Moore. After the awful pass defense, the Texans go to the ground game, and Singletary gets a nice gain of 18 yards on the carry. On 2nd and 12, Tank Dell once again over the middle. Dell is just so fast off his release, and that will be his first catch of the game. Stroud with pressure is able to get it off to Woods, but Woods will be forced out of bounds, and the Texans will kick the 44-yard field goal, and Fairbairn will narrowly make the field goal. On 2nd and 2, Fields gives it to Herbert, and he swept off his feet, but bad news for Texans fans. Denzel Perryman is injured, and he won't return to the game. Perryman suffering a dislocated wrist. Khalil Herbert again, and he gets popped by Christian Harris. The Texans need Harris to step up after both Houston middle linebackers are out due to injuries. Fields drops back, he goes up the middle, and he shows off the elusiveness for a nice 8-yard gain. With a little over 7 minutes left in the second quarter, Justin Fields lays it in for DJ Moore for his 2nd touchdown of the game. After 2 straight weeks of Houston getting dominated on the run, the Texans are still struggling against the run, and Houston is now getting torched by Chicago's dynamic duo in the pass game. Stroud on 3rd down gets it to Schultz, but he's far short of the first down, and the Texans will have to punt it back to the Bears. Fields can take a multi-possession lead on this drive. The Bears' O-line has been great, allowing pretty much no pressure at all, and now Khalil Herbert is running for a massive gain to Houston's 10-yard line. Fields on the 5 has the running back Khalil Herbert wide open for the touchdown, and now the Bears are up 21-10 with under 2 minutes left in the half. This Texans team has been struggling all around against RBs, whether it be in the passing game or in the run game. It's very clear that some changes are going to have to be made. If not this year, then in the draft or in free agency. Stroud is having a good drive, but he fumbles the ball while getting sacked, Stroud's first turnover of his career. And Justin Fields throws a pick on the first play of the drive. And just like that, Houston is getting the ball back with 2 timeouts left. Stroud looking for the first down, and he gets it. Hard-nosed play from CJ Stroud to barrel his way for the first down. With 19 seconds to go, a play-action look, and Stroud connects with the tight end Schultz on the sideline. With under 10 seconds left, Stroud connects with John Mechie, and Stroud and the Texans have been amazing at scoring with no time left in the first half, doing it in all 3 of their games this year. After a loss of momentum after the fumble, Stroud has brought Houston back into the game, having the score be 21-17 going into the second half. Stroud has the veteran Robert Woods wide open for a big gain to start the quarter, and even though Tank Dell is not on fire tonight, Quanfrazel Bingleton knows it's important to draw up some plays for Tank to try to make some magic. And Stroud tries to run up the middle for the first, but this time Chicago gets to the rookie for a sack. The Bears back with the ball, and Fields once again with a nice pass to the former Panther DJ Moore. And on first down, Fields takes the handoff, and Fields breaks the tackle, and Claypool with the block, and Fields is gone for the touchdown, a 36-yard run for the score. And the game is looking like it might get out of reach. Fields and the Bears have been electric on offense tonight, as Dell finds a crease in the defense for a big gain of 19 yards. CJ Stroud at the 45, rolls left with pressure, and what a pass by Stroud to once again hit Dell, this time on the sideline for the toe tap. Stroud on first down drops far back, and he lofts it up while getting hit, and touchdown! What a beautiful pass from Stroud to the wide receiver Robert Woods. The Bears get called for roughing the passer, but there's no need. Stroud still able to put the ball right on the money. Stroud on the 2-point conversion quickly slings it to the rookie Tank Dell, and now it's just a 3-point game in the third quarter. Justin Fields to pass on second down, and he gets to Claypool, and he gets popped by Christian Harris, not before getting the first down though. This Texans defense desperately needs Kirksey and Perryman back, as Fields throws across the field for a touchdown. What a play by Justin Fields. At this point, what can the Texans defense do when guys are doing stuff like that? Houston back on offense, and Robert Woods a 20-yard gain on a jet sweep, and Stroud in 5 wide is able to use his legs for the first down to the 38. After getting sacked, Stroud drops way back, and he misses a wide open Tank Dell for a potential touchdown. Surprisingly, Houston is going to go for it, and Nico Collins with brick hands. Somehow Houston was going to complete the fourth down, but Nico Collins just completely whiffs the easy catch in a tight window. And the Bears are just doing whatever they want versus the Texans. Chase Claypool getting in on the fun to increase the lead to 16. Stroud stays in the game with a possible comeback in the cards. Mechie having a solid game tonight, getting the catch for the first. Singletary for the dump off gets it to the 49 to make it 3rd and 2. At the 37, Mechie is in motion. He's going to catch it and slide by defenders for a gain of 9. Now Stroud drops back, runs right side, and he's intercepted. Eddie Jackson with the pick to seal the game. What a disappointing game for the Texans. Houston played a good game on offense, but Chicago was simply on fire. Fields was looking like Mahomes out there. Houston starts the season 0-3. Quanfrazel is not giving up hope though. Nobody said it was going to be easy. CJ Stroud played very well with a 103.8 passer rating and his highest completion percentage in his NFL career. But Justin Fields dominated with his best game of his career with 6 total touchdowns for Chicago. Quanfrazel did say Houston was going to try to get the others involved, and they did just that. But the Bears were too much to handle on this Sunday evening. Now the Texans being 0-3, what our division rivals do is important. The Jags are now 2-1 after losing their first game to the Chargers in week 3. The Jags run defense allowing the entire Chargers team to roll past them. In week 3, the Titans lose to the Raiders by 8 points in Tennessee. Henry's dominant performance not being able to withstand the Titans pass defense lacking. And Indy will lose to the Super Bowl favorite Chiefs in a somewhat low scoring game. Mahomes putting on his MVP performances early in the year. So even though Houston is 0-3, with everybody in the division losing, it seems like with the hot streak, Houston can make a leap. Or maybe Houston tries to maximize their progression of the young guys while getting a high draft pick for next year. Speaking of Pat Mahomes, we can't talk about the NFL MVP without bringing up his name. Patrick Mahomes has been the best QB by far in the first 3 weeks, and debatably the best player in the league, while leading the early MVP race with absolutely crazy numbers to start the year. And that will be it for the video. Thank you for watching episode 2 of the Texans franchise. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.